Hi everyone, and thank you so much for clicking through to watch my first beauty tutorial. I think I first mentioned that I was going to be doing tutorials probably 2 years ago on Instagram, but I'm finally here. I finally put something together, so I hope you like it. Today was all about recreating my everyday glam makeup look because I do receive a lot of emails, people wanting to know how I do my eyeshadow and what foundation I use. So today was something that I do every day, but a little bit more glam than usual. Please subscribe to my channel below because I'm going to be uploading a lot more videos. Let me know exactly what you want to see as well. I'm really open to shooting anything at all for you. So yeah, comment in the comment section below or let me know via Instagram and I'll definitely try to put it together for you. But I hope you love this beauty look that I've created. So the first thing I've done this morning is prepped my skin. So I've cleansed, I've moisturized, I've exfoliated. So that's the #1 step in my makeup routine. Make sure that my skin is ready for makeup. So I'm really happy to go through my skincare regime with you if you'd like to see that. So the next step is primer. Primer is such an important step. I never really used to believe in primers a few years ago, but they are really important for sort of fixing different imperfections you may have on your skin. You may want primers to minimize your pores, or maybe you want a little bit more shine or highlighting aspects to your skin. I love the Becca Backlight Primer at the moment. I love this one because it's just got a really beautiful sort of lumosity to it, and I think that it's really pretty on the skin. It also looks really great on my skin with no other makeup as well. So I'm just going to apply this one all over. I like to really concentrate on those areas of my face where you really need the foundation as well, like under the eyes and the nose. So the next step that I like to do is just a really strange one. I already like to start highlighting areas of my face. So there's this highlighter here, and I can never pronounce the name. It's Natasha Denova, but she's got incredible products and I buy them from Beautylish. So it's very old, so it's probably not the right way to apply it, but I warm it a little bit onto my skin first, and then I just pop that on just those areas like on your cheekbone and nose. Just so I know I'm going to apply foundation over this, but I sort of find that when you highlight a little bit underneath the foundation, you're sort of setting up your skin to really sort of highlight and shine and look really beautiful and glossy in those areas. The next step now that I always do my eyebrows before I put my foundation on. Eyebrows at the moment are in a very bad state. I normally get them tinted and waxed every 4 to 6 months, but I just haven't had the chance lately. So they're very light for me. If I don't have my brows done or filled in, I just feel almost quite naked. It's probably the one thing that I really like to do in my beauty regime more than anything else. So I'm going to fill in my brows so I can really show you the difference and show you how much better my face is going to look. It's going to frame my face, frame my eyes. There's so many different brow products on the market. I absolutely love this Hourglass product here, if you can see that, and this is a color Warm Brunette. I think this is just a really great product for beginners as well because it's got one end is this great brush that's really fantastic at really going in there and brushing them upward, and then the other end obviously has the brow pencil as well. So I'm just going to move this mirror, if you don't mind, just so I can get in there and show you exactly what I do. So I might do this as well. So I start by just pushing them up with the brush. Oops, dropped it. And then I go in there and I start feathering the product in. I really love that look of like beautiful bushy brows, really nice and fluffy. Actually, fluffy is probably a better word than bushy, but you know what I mean. And I think it's gone are the days of that sort of really stuck, hard brow look. I think we're really into that fluffy, thick look as well, which is great. It suits me because I have quite thick brows, even though I must say once I had Aston, my brows definitely don't grow as much as they used to, which is sort of a good thing, so I don't need to get them waxed all the time. So just go in there, and I like to just keep brushing it up so I can really make sure that the product is hitting all the little hairs that I want it to attach to. it's actually so much easier to fill in your brows once you've had them tinted, because the tint color almost attaches itself to all those little hairs that you have. So right now it's a little bit harder than usual for me to actually fill them in, but you'll get the picture. So the next thing that I like to do, and this is a little tip here, is actually use the MAC Lashes Primer Mascara, and I'm gonna actually use this on my brows because what it's gonna do is it's gonna attach further to those little hairs. So I really like applying this to the arches and areas of your brows that are quite sparse. And I will say I did steal this tip from a makeup artist, Normie, in Sydney, so it's not mine, but I really liked it because I found it made such a difference. So I applied that, and then I will actually set my brows with a gel, but I really love this Charlotte Tilbury Legendary Brows Gel because I find that the brush is so nice and little, and the product isn't thick either, so you can really go in there and apply the product, but you're never going to apply the product too heavily. And because the brush is so little, you can go in there and really then concentrate on all those little hairs that you want to pick up. But like I said earlier, I really don't like the look when it's too gelled either. So I'm being really careful not to apply too much of this. I'm just applying little parts where I really want it to grab onto the hairs. As you can see, I told you eyebrows were really important to me. I've spent so much time on them already, and I guess that's why I've titled this video Everyday Glam, because everyday makeup really is only, 5-10 minutes max, and I do think that they make such a big difference to your face when they're done right. So I'm gonna move them in the back. Sorry if I keep also looking there, it's just that I've never actually used this camera before, so I'm just double checking to see that I'm in focus. So the next step I'm going to do now is apply my foundation. So with my foundation, I use two different foundations. I use the Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk in 6.5, the color, and then I also use this Makeup Forever foundation as well. I just love these two foundations together. I think they're really the perfect consistency color. They're really great for my skin type as well. I've got quite an oily T-zone, and then I'm quite dry in patches, but I do like quite medium coverage, medium to full, but I apply it less or more. And I just find that these two products together just give me such a beautiful finish on my skin. I'm really open to hearing any foundations that you love to use, so please comment below in the comment section, because I think as much as I'm set on these two foundations, I think like any girl out there, you always think that there's a better one or better foundation that may offer you more coverage or last longer. So please let me know if there's something else you prefer, and I'll definitely try it out as well. So I apply just a little bit there, and then I mix it in with the Makeup Forever, and I'm going to be providing a link to this one below, but just in case, the color is as well Y415 is the color. So I mix these together. And I know so many girls out there talk about the Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk. It's not a new foundation, but I think there is a reason that so many girls talk about it, because it is so beautiful, but it is quite pricey as well. It's very expensive. So I think I'm going to actually do a video on foundations that are similar to the Giorgio Armani, because I actually know of a brand that I used to work with when I was in magazines, and their product is just basically a product that you can buy from the supermarket and the chemist, and it is made at the same factory that the Giorgio Armani one is made. So I might do a bit of a rundown on my top foundations that are quite similar to the Giorgio Armani, because the Giorgio Armani is a really beautiful color as well. It's got a really beautiful brown consistency to it, where I find some other foundations are a little bit more pink based or yellow based, and I just don't like them as much. So as you can see here, I'm just applying the foundation to the middle of my face as well, because that is the area that you really want to concentrate concentrate on, that's the area that you want the most coverage. I think as soon as you start applying foundation to the sides of your face, like I used to do, that's when you're going to end up having a really cakey appearance. So now that I've got this foundation on, I'm going to use my brush. So this little baby is a Morphe brush, and it is the best brush I have found to apply foundation. There are so many different brushes and ways to apply foundation on the market. I actually just used to use my fingers a lot as well and really get the product warm with my fingers, but I do find this brush here just does such an incredible job of giving you amazing coverage to your face, but you're also not going to lose a bunch of product, because I think that you can obviously apply your foundation with sponges or beauty blenders, which are really popular, but I do find that they eat a little bit of your foundation up. So just really getting in there and molding the foundation into your skin. I find that's the real difference between the way that a makeup artist will do your makeup in comparison to, say, how we would do our makeup at home. They spend a lot of time really warming up the product, getting it into your skin, really making sure that it's all over the whole area of your face. I also never forget about my ears as well, even though I do tend to wear my hair down a lot so you don't see my ears, but a lot of girls out there do wear their hair up. So getting really happy with this, but I've just realized I probably need a little bit more product just around my neck area, because as you've probably noticed, my face is so much whiter than my body, so I do need to make sure that that just really molds in together. I also go over my eyes as well. But I think the key that really helps you with applying the foundation with this brush is because it's got its beautiful short bristles, and so it really allows you to get in there and work the product in. So now that I've got that all over my skin, and sometimes when you do that you notice that your brows sometimes get a little bit ruined in the process, but I just then go over them. The next thing that I like to do is go in and conceal and highlight, and I love this Urban Decay Naked Skin Concealer. This is in the color Light Warm. So I've used the NARS Custard Concealer before, and I think that is fantastic, but I've noticed recently that this concealer is much better for me and my skin type, because I find the NARS concealer really heavy, which is great, but then I also find it quite drying on my skin, and I've really noticed in the last few years that even though I do have quite oily skin and an oily T-zone, I am getting quite dry right under my eyes, and I just think that's because the skin is getting obviously a lot more thinner. So I find that this product here is weightless, so it's not as heavy on my skin, but it's going to give me a really great coverage, so I love this. So we go in with this one. Always when you apply your concealer as well, make sure to do it in downward strokes, because you want to hide your pores. You want to obviously minimize those pores. Then also on the nose, I like to go all the way in here as well. I just find that it kind of minimizes the nose, across here, and then a little bit up there. So now I'm going to go in and blend all this in, and the best way to do that is with a beauty blender. So I have my beauty blender here. So I just used to always see makeup artists have beauty blenders, and I was like, yes, that looks cool. What exactly do you use it for? Do you need a beauty blender? But beauty blenders are incredible for blending in your concealer, and they just mold it into your skin like nothing else. So I'm just gonna go in there and do this. And obviously always make sure that your beauty blender is also damp as well, because you don't want to be popping it on dry on your skin. It needs to be damp so you can really get the product molded into your skin. I just love doing this with really quick bouncy motion. bouncing it in. And obviously, as I said, when you apply the concealer down, make sure that you're doing the same thing with the Beauty Blender. Because what you want to do with this is just really minimize all those creases you may have under there, also minimize your pores. Nose. And I love this concealer as well because it works as a highlighter at the same time. So it's great because you don't need to be applying a lot of coverage under there. I find that a lot of girls sometimes apply 2 or 3 different concealers under their eyes, and I've done that in the past as well. But for me lately, I just find that that's a little bit too much product, particularly for the day, and I just think that it goes cakey really quickly as well. So then to the next side. I might actually, if you don't mind, bring this closer so I can see what I'm doing. You can still see. Oh, that's better. The mirror was so far away and I was like, am I actually even getting this into my skin? Sorry, I'm probably pulling a really ugly faces while I do this as well. So I don't mind that this takes a little bit of time because I think that once you've got this onto your skin correctly, then it's going to look amazing. Always get under the eyes. Move the mirror back. So now that the concealer is really molded into my skin, I can go in and I can set the product. But yeah, you want to make sure that it's very perfectly sitting on your skin as I've done so. So I've made sure to really pat it and bounce the Beauty Blender on my under eye area so all the product is sitting effectively on the skin. So now I'm going to set the concealer, and when you set the concealer, there's a couple of different products that you can use, and I think it's just personal preference. The way I like to do this is actually by using a translucent powder. So I used to use the Laura Mercier translucent powder, which is great, but I've actually found another product that I love more, and this is the RCMA translucent powder, and this is great for skin type like me that is a little bit more oily but dry under the eyes, where I found the translucent powder was just a little bit too drying on the skin, where this one here is great because it's going to set your concealer, set your foundation, but it's not going to make it look too cakey under there as well. So just pop this in here. Oops, I almost tipped that whole thing over, which wouldn't have been great. And as you can see, just get that. And I'm just going to really apply a little bit because it's during the day. I don't want to fully bake my eyes under there. So now I'm going to go in there and actually contour and bronze up different areas of my face. I really like using a powder contour product, as I think that at home that's just the easiest way for me to get the contour on and doesn't look muddy on my skin. But I do love cream contours as well. I tend to actually do both, so I use this cream contour product, which is the Hoola product from Benefit, which is incredible, and then I use the Hoola powder as well. So I like to actually use the cream product just around my forehead because I find that's a really easy way to get the color on. And then I go under here and make sure to bronze that up as well. I need to go here, but I'm not going to actually do that area yet because I find that every time I try to apply this contour product, or not this one in particular, but any cream contour, I just can't get it right around there, and it does tend to look really dirty. And that obviously isn't the product's fault, it's my fault because I'm not a professional. But I just find that this is the best way to get me the result that I like. And then I'm going to go in and make sure that I blend that all in. So now that that's all blended in, I'm going to actually just make sure that I've removed that powder that I've popped under there. And now I'm actually going to set my whole face, and I'm going to do this with Giorgio Armani. Again, this is a luminous silk powder. I'll provide the exact color and link below. And this is such a nice product. So here I am using my Morphe brush again. And I think the brush that you use to really apply your setting powder is really important, because it means that you're going to get the right desired result on your skin. So just doing this, and I'm going to set all of that, because I like to set my whole foundation before I apply any further powders on the skin, because I just find it doesn't sit as well. So I've noticed that when I actually set this with the Giorgio Armani, then the other powders will go on my skin properly. And I think for me, it is really important for me to set my foundation and also apply the translucent powder under my eyes like I did, because I am quite oily. So if I don't do that, I just notice that then the foundation moves, I have black mascara under my eyes, and I actually only realized that you need to set your foundation recently. It was probably a year ago, and before that I was just going around with a really wet and oily looking face. So we've set that, and then now I'm going to go in with the Hoola. This is such an incredible product by Benefit. I can't remember who told me about this product. It was either Chantal Baker or Jade Kusnorbo. So they're both Melbourne makeup artists that I use, and I think they both use this product. And anyway, as I always do, I always steal their techniques. So I actually quite like using the brush that comes with the powder as well. Just making sure you don't have too much on the skin. And then I'll go over all those areas up above where I sort of bronzed around here. I'm just going to bring this mirror to me as well so I can see what I'm doing. And this is where I'll do this little section here. So I go from top of the ear going down, and you don't need a lot of product. So I'm going down with the product in a straight line. I like the line to actually be quite harsh and straight on my face, and I don't go any further than the top of my ear to the corner of my eye. I don't use a lot of product on my brush as well, and I just really keep trying to sort of buff that into the skin, also going over those areas that I already used the cream contour on. As you can see, I much prefer using a powder contour rather than a cream in that cheekbone area, as I think it really allows you to control the product more than you can with a cream. So now I'm going to the other side of my face, and I'm doing the same thing again, starting from the corner of the ear to top of the ear to the corner of the eye, and I'm just really sort of buffing that product into the skin really lightly. But as you can see, you don't need a lot of product to get a really sort of quite bronze look and effect on your face. I like to really carve out the way that this contour looks on the side of my face, so I do that with bringing back in the translucent powder again. And then I've got this little beauty blender, but I'm not actually sure the brand of this one, but it's great because it's got that little angular look to it, and it allows me to go in and really pop all this product on. So I'm getting quite a large amount, and I'm just carving out this, because I noticed that if I don't set this area further, because I'm sort of leaning on my face all day, or, you know, I tend to touch my face a lot, I think that I sort of I've noticed I was losing a lot of foundation around this area, and my face was looking really white. So I've noticed since I've been setting that, it's a great way to sort of really define that contour that you've popped there, but it also keeps the foundation in place. So as you can see, applying generous amount. And I always think that they never look even, but then I was actually reading that no one has a perfectly symmetrical face. So I think don't worry about getting it even, but just make sure that you've got it in the right place, just under the contour there. Also sometimes just apply a little bit more on my chin because I find that I get a little bit oily there. Okay, so we've done that, and now I'm going to let that set for a little bit. Before we start on the eyes, I'm just going to remove this excess translucent powder that I still have on my face, as I think that's been baking enough now. So now we are going to start on the eyes. Woohoo! This is by far my favorite step in all of my makeup routine. I'm obsessed with eyeshadows. I have so many different colors, I can't even begin to tell you. And because it's a daytime glam look, I'm gonna really stick to matte tones. I'm actually just loving matte tones in general. I love those really sort of terracotta, brown, orangey tones for my eyeshadows. And I basically achieve all of this using the Anastassia Contour Kit as my eyeshadows. So this is just such an incredible palette. I've got the color medium to tan. I also use that with the Kylie Jenner eyeshadow, and that's just a little bit on the lash line as well. So I'm going to show you how I achieve this look, and I'm really sorry for the state of my palette. It's so ratty. I wanted to get a new one to film this, but I went into Sephora and they had all sold out. So sorry, you have to look at my palette at the moment. I'm gonna grab a brush. So this is a brush I like to use. It's a Wayne Goss brush, and I'll also link it below. And I'm gonna concentrate on these two colors here for the lighter areas, and then in the socket I will go for more of a darker color. The way I'm applying this is probably not the correct technique, but I think there's no rules when it comes to makeup, so this is just the way that works for me, and it's a very fast way for me to apply my eyeshadow, even though this is actually a contour kit used as an eyeshadow. So concentrate on these colors. Just pop a little bit there. And I'm really just quite contouring, I guess, the eyes. I like that look where it's really natural browning looking. I'm gonna get these dark colors, and that's when I'll go into this section here in the socket. And I love the socket to be really just sort of a lot of color to it. You can all see that. So I'm just gonna go over here. Once again, just making sure it's really blended, because I think that's the difference on someone that has amazing eye makeup and someone that doesn't, is when the eyes are really blended. So that's honestly all I really do for the day. But then I like to do is actually grab this brush here, and I use this brush concentrating on these two darker colors, and I'm going to really darken in this area in the bottom lash line, because I think when you sort of really contour that area under there, that's what really widens your eye, and you'll notice the difference if I just show you. Going in there again with both these colors. And I don't think you're even meant to use this brush for under here, but I just find that it's just really great at applying the product. So I'll try to look at the camera so you can see what I'm doing. It's almost even going into this area as well. So sorry guys, I've actually just lost all my natural light. So I started shooting this in the late afternoon, and I'm actually sitting in my bedroom in front of a big window, and now that I've lost the light, the color looks a little bit different. So rookie error, first beauty tutorial, and there's already no light, or the light looks different. So I'm going to try to do this quite quickly for you. Just want to try to find... Oh, so here is the brush that I'm looking for. So this is another Wayne Goss brush. So now we focus on these two colors, and what I'm going to do is I like actually smudging the lash line up the top. So, not sure if you can see that. Just both of these colors again, all over the lash line. Even concentrating really quite heavily on the middle of that lash line. Do it on this side as well. You can see that. So always just make sure, again, the colour is on the middle, but also all over the lash line. And then I'm also going to bring that colour down underneath again to darken that a little bit, but really only using that colour there. So you don't need a lot. But I just really love this because it gives that really sort of smudged out, smouldering look. I'll do it on the other side. So the next thing I like to do when I want a little bit more glam, and normally I just keep it exactly like this, so keep it quite matte, is I add a little more shimmer under the lash line. And I've actually been liking to do this with Kim Kardashian's contour kit. So this is the dark contour kit. I'm waiting for my medium to arrive because this one is way too dark for me. But I actually really like this shimmery side to the stick. And I just like applying a little bit just in that little corner area of the lash, because it just gives it a little bit of something, I find. And then now that I've got this as well, I'll also go in and just contour around the lips. This is so creamy, her sticks. Like, I can't wait for my medium to arrive because they actually are pretty amazing. So I sort of just like going under there, contouring that area, and almost drawing over the lips. So while I'm here, I'll also show you what I normally do with my lips to make them look bigger. So this is another lip liner, which I'll link below, which happens to be Kylie Jenner's lip liner. And then this one. But there's so many different brands you can use. I actually love going to Priceline. I think it's NYC has a really great lip liner that's really affordable. So I always need to sharpen this, like going over the top. Just making them look a little bit bigger. They look pretty crazy now, but once you smudge that out, you don't even really need to wear lipstick over the top. Which is so nice. So now that we've done lips, which I wasn't even planning to do lips now, but might as well, we'll curl the lashes. So go in and also always place the eyelash curler at the base of the lashes and curl up. I actually have really straight lashes, so I always love to curl my lashes. Even if I'm leaving the house, I'm not wearing much makeup, I love curling my lashes and having mascara on. Just think it really widens the eye. So you hold this on for about 10 to 20 seconds. And just pop mascara on. I am using the Great Lash Maybelline mascara. It is the mascara that I always use and I always fall back to using because it's just incredible. I think the consistency of it just really holds my lashes up, where some of those other mascaras seem great when you first pop them on, but then by lunchtime my lashes are just straight, where this mascara holds the lashes high and holds that that curl that I've created with the eyelash curler, so I absolutely love it. And now all I have to do is highlight. This is an incredible highlighter from Becca, and this is just such a beautiful color. Every time I wear this, I might actually move the mirror back now. Every time I wear this highlighter, I always receive compliments. So I have my brush, and I'll just pop this behind here so you can see. And then I like to highlight there. And all the areas obviously that I've highlighted with the concealer. So you just pop this on. I hope you can see that. So beautiful, this highlighter. Also the other side. I then like to highlight here a little bit. Here. I'll also go around this area because I think that area gives you that really sun-kissed look. Also going with my favorite lippy. So this is Ilia, and this is the color Humblebee. I actually wore this shade to the Brownlow, I think it was last year, and I received so many compliments. It's a really beautiful goldy color. Once again, following to go over the lip liner, because you've contoured those lips in, once you put lipstick over the top, they just look nice and big. Well, that's it, guys. That's my everyday glam makeup look. I hope you love it. I hope I haven't spoken too much during this tutorial, and I really can't wait to shoot more videos for you. Anything at all that you want to see, please let me know.